Hello, everyone. All right, tips and tips time. So I put out a poll today asking if people would rather learn about lemon water. That's the thing we see now, people drinking lemon water in the morning. I'm one of those people. But if we'd rather learn about lemon water or salad dressing won. So I'm really excited actually because tonight we're actually in the kitchen. Hopefully we'll be able to see what I'm doing. We're just gonna run through, I'm gonna show everyone all the different ingredients for salad dressing that we're gonna use. I'm gonna run through the basic recipe for salad dressing and the reasons why you should make your own at home as opposed to buying it. There actually is a huge difference. And don't argue with me about time, convenience, especially not knowing, because now you'll know, and it's really, really easy. Salad dressing is actually so simple, not expensive. So we're gonna go as fast as I can and get through all this information. So thanks for joining me. Okay. So first things first, why do we not want to buy a bottled salad dressing? There are a couple reasons. Cost. You know, it's gonna, when we see it on the shelf, we might think, oh, you know, it's just like $3, $4. It is so much cheaper to make your own, to get those ingredients yourself and make it at home. I promise you it's much cheaper. And then quality of ingredients. So when we do a store-bought, and I'll run through this, the ingredients are not very good. And what you see, what you're actually paying for, you'll probably be really upset. Plus, honestly, what salad dressing, maybe other than ranch, tastes very good from a bottle. If I'm at a restaurant, usually you'll get good ones at a restaurant, but I've never ever had a good bottled salad dressing that I liked more than something I could make at home. So it's just not worth it. I actually didn't even have any bottled salad dressings. I do not buy salad dressings. These are really old. I found them in the kitchen. They're not even mine. So this is what we're using for examples. And actually, these are Newman's Own brand. They're probably the much better option on the shelf. Most of the other ones I could have gotten would be way worse than this. So just keep that in mind. But this is kind of a lesson in reading ingredient list and why that's important. So this is an Italian dressing. The first ingredient is soybean oil. If you know why soybean oil is bad, good for you. But this is a highly processed oil. It does not have a good type of fat. It does have a very long shelf life. So that's why it's used in a lot of bottled packaged products. But that is a very cheap oil. It doesn't necessarily taste very good, and it's not very good for us. So we're buying soybean oil, and the second ingredient is water. So if you know anything about ingredient lists, we list from highest amount to lowest amount. So the top two ingredients are a very cheap oil and water. So you've just bought a bottle of water with a little bit of oil mixed in. This is probably like $4 or $5. The next ingredient is distilled vinegar. Distilled vinegar. This is that giant bottle of vinegar that you can buy for like cleaning at the grocery store. It's like $2 for like a couple gallons. It's very cheap. It does not taste like anything other than just straight vinegar. And you can clean with it. That should tell you something. So far we've bought very cheap oil and vinegar and water. I mean, that's not much. The rest of the ingredients basically are salt and sugar. There's also food coloring in here, which we don't necessarily need or want, and we could completely cut out if we made our own. This is an Italian dressing. There's a little bit of olive oil in here, but not too much. There's corn syrup in here. There's a bunch of fillers and emulsifiers, just basically a whole bunch of things that we don't need. So we just paid $4 or $5 for the salad dressing that is not healthy. It probably doesn't really taste very good. And were those all my reasons? Oh, maybe it was convenient, but whatever. You can make your own. It's so easy. So if we're making our own, there are two main components to a homemade salad dressing, and it literally could not be easier. It is fat and acid. Those are the two components to any salad dressing. So oftentimes a salad dressing at home is as simple as oil and vinegar, and it will taste just fine. But I'm going to show you how to like jazz it up, make it taste better than just oil and vinegar. But the two basics are fat and acid, and those can be a variety of different things I'm going to go over. So our fat, this can be an oil. We talked about like olive oil. It could be canola oil, grapeseed oil, probably not soybean oil. You probably can even buy that at the store. But any type of oil is a good base. So olive oils are great for like an Italian dressing, a Greek dressing, those kinds of things. They have lend themselves well to that flavor profile. But something like a canola, grapeseed, those are kind of going to go with any flavor that you're looking for. So your fat can be an oil, but you can get really creative with this. Don't limit yourself to the oil. Think creatively, think outside your box. So another type of oil that you might try and use, especially if you're like into Asian flavors, this is toasted sesame oil. We use this in all of our dressings for Basically It. So a little plug for Basically It, we make all of our own homemade dressings for everything. Like any dressing that you see, we made it. And we make amazing dressings. I get texts every week from clients saying, oh my God, how did you make this salad dressing? And this is the formula that I use. So you can have basically a quality salad dressing like using this little formula here. So easy. So toasted sesame oil, this is gonna go great with anything that's Asian. It has a nice like sesame flavor, but we can get real crazy with it. We can use like an avocado. That can be your fat. This is a great, if you're making like a healthy Caesar dressing, you can make an avocado Caesar. So good. So avocados are awesome. These are gonna be, you wanna mash it well with a fork or put it in a food processor. Food processor is the other secret ingredient to a good salad dressing because it will emulsify everything for you. You don't have to whisk. If you're using a heavier like fat, so one of my other suggestions is like a peanut butter, a cashew butter, almond butter. Those are all going to make a really interesting and yummy salad dressing, even your avocado. Throwing these into the food processor to blend them up so that you're not like mashing and whisking and like breaking your arm makes your life so easy. We do all of ours in the food processor, like even oil and vinegar, because it emulsifies it really nicely. So that's the other secret ingredient. But peanut butter, almond butter, cashew butter, this is going to be really good for any type of Asian flavor. You mix little peanut butter or almond butter with some toasted sesame oil. So we've got two fats there. You're gonna, hi Sess! I'll see you soon. I hope you like my outfit because, but okay, so our fats, we're talking about, I mentioned 1 to 1. So one, if we're doing like a tablespoon of olive oil or a tablespoon of fat, we need a tablespoon of acid. So it's a 1 to 1 ratio. So if we're doing, say, a dressing that has multiple types of fat in it, so peanut butter plus sesame oil, maybe we cut that tablespoon in half. We do half tablespoon of one, half tablespoon of the other, and then a tablespoon of lime juice, rice wine vinegar, get real wild with it. So those are some good fats. You can also do like a tahini, something like this. Tahini is super popular right now. This is a really gross bottle, but this would be another good one to throw into the food processor because it's a little bit thicker. But this is gonna make all of these denser fats, the avocado, the peanut butter, those are gonna make a really nicely emulsified dressing, especially if you put it in the food processor. So those are all great fats to try out. And then all we need, really, all you need now is an acid. But we're gonna make it really interesting. We're gonna try all different types of flavors. So acid can be vinegar, which is the traditional thing to use. So, you know, so many different types of vinegar. You can, this is a balsamic, you can go red wine, champagne, the popular one now, apple cider vinegar. I drank all mine, so I don't have any here today. But, you know, just peruse the vinegar aisle. There's so many different kinds now. There's all different types of flavors. With the vinegars though, I do check my labels. Some of them have food coloring, some of them have sugar added. So especially if you're going with like the flavored vinegars, some of those might have sugar thrown in them, which you don't need. And you don't need the food coloring either. So you want to go with one that is like as minimal ingredients as possible. So something like an apple cider or just like a white wine or a red wine, that's going to be, you know, there shouldn't be too many other ingredients in there. So this is my balsamic, wine vinegar, grape must. Those are the only 2 ingredients. That's great. Hi, Vicki. How are you? So those are one options. Vinegar is one option for acid. Another option is citrus fruit. So I will also, like I said, you can divide your fat, you know, and do like half of one, half another in your ratio. You can do the same with your acid. So sometimes I'll do like a lemon and a lime, or a lemon and some vinegar, or a lemon and some orange juice. Oranges are another one. Both of these, again, like super easy, super affordable. These are not expensive. And if we think about it, if we're comparing costs, we compare the cost of a bottle of salad dressing, which is $4 or $5 on a good day, to maybe the cost of a bottle of olive oil. And you might say, oh my gosh, well, that olive oil, you know, was $8.99. That's more than the $4 salad dressing. Okay, how many salad dressings are you going to get out of this? This is way bigger. This is going to make, and if you think about it 1-to-1, if we are equaling this with an acid, we just doubled, I mean, way more than doubled this amount. So this is absolutely more cost effective. We doubled that with the cost of a bottle of olive oil and a bag of lemons. That's pretty crazy. I mean, that's amazing. And lemon juice honestly makes an amazing salad dressing. So these are kind of the basics. I did the fats, I did the acids, those vinegars, citrus fruits, oranges, limes are awesome. Now we get to the interesting part. So when we make a salad dressing at home, a lot of the ones that you're going to see on the shelf are going to be like a consistent, you don't have to shake them. This one is separated. I can't really see that. But a lot of the ones that you see are going to be emulsified. Like think about like ranch or Thousand Island or something. So there's many different components that go in there to emulsify that. And by components, I mean chemicals. So you probably got a whole bunch of chemicals added into yours. Like even like this one, this is a cleaner brand, has a bunch of chemicals added into it. And it's not even emulsified. Like what do we need those for? But we can emulsify at home using natural. Hi, Joe. Joseph. How are you? So there are natural ingredients we can use at home to emulsify. One of them, and one of the best tasting, is mustard. You can use Dijon, you can use whole grain, any type of, I don't know if I would use like hamburger mustard, like yellow mustard. Not sure that would taste so great. But the Dijons, the whole grains, taste awesome in dressing, and they also prevent your dressing from separating. So they keep the oil and the acid together, which is great. It looks nice. And this lends a whole lot of flavor. You won't believe the depth of flavor that a little bit of Dijon or whole grain mustard adds to your dressing. And on top of that, we can throw in other things. So some things I like to use, kind of obvious, garlic powder is really easy. You can also use whole clove garlic. If you have like the pre-crushed at home and you're just whisking it up at home, I throw in some pre-crushed garlic, although some people don't care my breath after that. Some pre-crushed garlic, a little bit of mustard, and then my fat and my acid. That makes for an awesome tasting dressing. You can also get a little bit more wild and crazy. Like this is a chili lime. You could, you know, do like a Southwest style dressing, lime juice, olive oil, a little bit of this. That would be amazing. And then go way out there. Soy sauce. This would be great for like an Asian dressing. And with this, you're not going to need to add salt. So that's another thing. This dressing for 2 tablespoons has 360 milligrams of salt. That's a lot of salt for 2 tablespoons. And when you make yours at home, you honestly like are not gonna need salt. You really won't. Like the lemon juice, the acid is gonna take place of that. It's gonna taste phenomenal without any salt, without any sugar. You don't need it. So kind of what I like to do is I think about what the theme of my salad is. If it's something like Asian, maybe I have like leftover marinated shrimp or something, and I'm gonna throw some peanuts on there. I'm gonna take peanut butter, sesame oil, soy sauce, and lime juice, and that's gonna be my dressing. And I'll add a little garlic in there. I'll throw in some fresh cilantro, and that's amazing, like so good. These are the types of dressings that basically it serves on a weekly basis with our meals. Like they're so good. They really just make everything come together, and they're very easy. Another example, this was one I made for an event last week. Also these salad dressing pours, if you want to make a big batch, you can store them in here and then you just have it pre-made and you don't even need a bottle. You just use this thing. It's giant. So this was sort of a Southwest flavor. So I put garlic, cilantro, lime juice, olive oil in the food processor and process that all together. I didn't add mustard, so it did separate a little bit, but this tastes outstanding. People were like, oh my God, like, where'd you get this dressing? Well, I just made it at home and it was so easy. This was a Greek dressing. So this is red wine vinegar and olive oil, Dijon mustard, Greek, what's the, like just Greek seasoning mix. You know, you buy the dried, like it's like oregano and basil and who knows what else. But just like a dried Greek seasoning mix, Dijon, olive oil, red wine vinegar, and then I did a little bit of lemon juice in there. And again, that's so easy. You just throw in a little powdered garlic and shake it. You don't even have to put that one in the food processor. Just shake it up. That will make it nice and emulsified. And it tastes phenomenal. So, I went really fast tonight. Hi, Carolyn. Thank you so much. I'm like, yeah, weren't you the one who asked if you could buy the salad dressings? I was like, maybe I should start bottling them because they really are. But Carolyn, also, I'm happy to send recipes. As with anyone on this video, if you are interested in like more of these recipes, like written down, as opposed to me just rattling off ingredients, feel free to send me a message or comment on this video, and I will send those right over to you because they really couldn't be easier. Cecily, thank you so much. You know all the tips and tricks. Cecily and I, a little background, were raised with Italians who just free pour everything. So we loved our mother's salad dressing, but trying to learn the ratios of everything was like nearly impossible because she had like 6 or 7 different ingredients, and she would just drizzle all the different ingredients on there, and we had no idea. Like, we're like, how do you measure that? And she's like, you don't. You just you feel it. You feel it. So that's how we were raised, learning about salad dressing, and I've carried that on to my current cooking. Just a little bit free pour, so we like to call it. But those are kind of all my tips, all of my ways to get like a really delicious and easy. How easy were these? I mean, you pick your fat, you pick your acid, you kind of pick a flavor profile, you throw in extras like soy sauce, garlic, herbs, spices, and you've got like an amazingly delicious dressing that is going to make whatever you eat taste good. You do not need to buy a bottle dressing. You don't need the sugar, you don't need the salt, you don't need the junky oil or the water. This is a good percent water, probably like 25% water. You just paid like $4 or $5 for it. So for sure, make your own at home. It literally couldn't be easier. So let me know if you want any of these recipes in hard copy. I'd be happy to send them to you. And otherwise, I will see you guys next week, and thank you so much for joining me. Bye.